Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, visit them at a Hamfest near you or call 920-435-2973 or online at pl-259.com.
It's Ham Radio with Neil Rapp. Here we go. Welcome to Ham Talk Live. Call in, let's talk. Neil's your guy. Ham Talk Live. Here we go on Ham Talk Radio.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and for some of you, good evening again. It's time once again for Ham Talk Live. It's episode number 112. The Youth Forum, a part of our Hamvention Preview 2018, recorded live on Thursday, April 26th. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight we're joined by Carole Perry, WB2MGP, and Mason Matrazzo, KM4SII, and we'll take your calls live in just a few minutes. Last week on the show, Michael Coulter, W8CI, the official spokesperson of the Dayton Hamvention, was here along with Val Hotsfeld in V9L, the winner of the Hamvention Amateur of the Year, and Dr. Chip Cohen, W1YW, the Technical Achievement Award winner, and they were here to talk about being recognized for their accomplishments. So if you missed that, tune in anytime at hamtalklive.com, and we're also available in podcast format on just about any podcast player. iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeart Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, SoundCloud. We're also on YouTube, so you can check that out. Well, earlier tonight, we had a bonus miniature episode about Walmart parking lots on the air. So if you're interested in more details on that, check out that podcast edition of that show as well. And we will be scheduling a full-length call-in episode about that as soon as we can. So tonight, we're continuing our Hamvention Preview here on the show. From now until the Dayton Hamvention on May 18th through the 20th, we'll preview an event that will be happening this year, and don't miss our Hamvention Eve episode, where we'll give you all the information for your trip to Dayton, traffic, weather, parking, and more. We'll be coming to you live from Spring Hill Suites, Dayton South Miamisburg, in the meeting room. And if you haven't made your hotel reservations yet, they have some rooms left. Spring Hill Suites, Dayton South Miamisburg, is the official Hamvention home of Ham Talk Live. Reserve your rooms now at Marriott.com or call 888-850-6391. Okay, get your questions ready. After the interview, you can give us a call. I'll go ahead and give you the number. It's 812-NET-HAM1. 812-638-4261, or you can Skype us at Ham Talk Live. You can also tweet us. I'll be watching the tweets here in a little bit at Ham Talk Live, and you can give us a call. But we're going to talk to Carole and Mason for a while first, and I'll let you know when it's time to do that. So I'll be back with Carole and Mason right after this word from Tower Electronics here on Ham Talk Live. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you in part by Tower Electronics. Tower Electronics has been the Ham's Dime store since 1978. When you need connectors, mobile and handheld antennas, cables, or adapters, visit Scott or Jill at a Hamfest near you. Or you can order online at pl-259.com or call 920-435-2973. Stock up on those supplies like PL259 and N connectors, SMA adapters, audio cables, soldering supplies, mobile antennas, and ham sticks. Their silver-plated N connectors are even used on the International Space Station. Tower Electronics carries MFJ, Comet, Daiwa, OPEC, Workman, and Ham Pro products. And don't miss their 0% off sale going on now. Tower Electronics, online at pl-259.com, proud to sponsor this episode of Ham Talk Live.
All the information you need for your trip to Dayton. It's Hamvention Preview here on Ham Talk Live.
Thanks again to Scott and Jill at Tower Electronics for sponsoring the show to help bring Ham Talk Live your direction. Coming up on Saturday, they'll be in Calhoun, Georgia, and then Saturday, May 5th, Cedarburg, Wisconsin, and Sunday, May 6th, Sandwich, Illinois. And of course, they'll be at Hamvention, May 18th through 20th. They're inside Building 3 in spot 3501 and outside in spot 9113 and several others there, but that's how to find them. They're on the curve just to the east of Building 3. Look for the big yellow blimp, and you can call them at 920-435-2973, or you can visit them online, pl-259.com. Well, tonight, our guest, Carole Perry, WB2MGP, is back with us yet once again this evening. Carole taught ham radio at Intermediate School 72 in Staten Island, New York for 30 years. She travels across the globe to speak to hams about involving young people in ham radio and using it as a teaching tool. Carole Perry is the recipient of the 1987 Dayton Amateur of the Year Award, the 1987 ARRL Instructor of the Year Award, the 1991 Marconi Wireless Memorial Award, the 1993 QCWA President's Award, and the 1996 RCA Barry Goldwater Amateur Radio Award. And she's also won the Radio Club of America President's Awards in 2009 and 2012. Carole is a RCA fellow, and in 2007, she was elected to the board of directors, a position she still holds, and created the Youth Activities Committee, which she now chairs. Under Carole's leadership, the RCA Youth Activities Committee donates equipment, cash grants, books, and supplies to chosen schools or youth groups. She also created the Young Achievers Award, also from RCA, and that's given to students in grade 12 and below who have demonstrated excellence and creativity in wireless communications. Carole's moderated the Dayton Hamvention Youth Forum and Instructors Forum for 30 years, and she's a member of QCWA, RCA, ARRL, and a host of others, and a friend of mine since my early days in ham radio. It's so good to have you on the show once again, Carole. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Neil. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
And last year at the forum, I was sitting there just hoping to win one of those Aero antenna packages, because I wanted to get started in satellites. And this weekend, we were talking earlier about the Walmart parking lots on the air thing, and I was hoping to do that. And then something happened that was even better. I won one of those code oscillators, and I had you autograph it, and it's sitting right here. And it's very special because you've known me since I was 5 years old, and to get that at the forum and you know, have you sign it and attend the forums for many years, it was just a very special thing.
Oh, I am just so delighted to hear that, because you've always had your presence in my classroom before I retired. I always had a picture of you, I believe at age 8, at your radio station as a motivator in my classroom.
Yeah, that's been a long, long time ago, but we're still here doing all this.
Yes, we are.
Well, our other guest tonight, speaking of all these young people, is one of the speakers that will be at the Youth Forum this year, Mason Matrazzo, KM4SII, from Clemens, North Carolina. And Mason had a DX adventure of his own and another one coming up this summer, and I don't want to steal all his material, so I'm not going to tell you about all of that, even though I've talked to him a few times before. So, Mason, we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but welcome.
Thank you. Very happy to be here tonight.
And we're glad that you're not in court anymore.
No, I'm back home now, so I could call in here on Skype, and that way everybody can hear me a little bit better.
Now, I should explain that we were kind of joking around before the show that Mason was in court. Well, it was a mock trial for some kids, and he was there before last year, and he went to observe this year. So no, Mason wasn't in any trouble or anything, but just wanted to clear that up.
Trouble.
Yes, yeah, we wanted to clear that up. Well, Carole, let's start off first with just a few minutes about the Instructors Forum before we get to the Youth Forum and Mason here. So the Instructors Forum, who should be in that? What do you have planned for this year? And where do people go to find that?
Okay, well, it's going to be in Forum Room 4, and that would be Friday, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30. And who should attend the forum? My answer to that would be anybody who is already working with a youth group or in a classroom or a scouting group, anything with young people, or somebody who is thinking about starting such a program with youngsters and ham radio and is looking for ideas. This is a sharing forum with a very dynamic speaker that I have this year, but it's for anybody who's interested in getting inspired to work with young people and radio, or somebody who's already doing it and is just looking for a couple more creative ideas. Now, the speaker this year that I have is a dear friend of mine, a former RCA director and a member of my RCA Youth Activities Committee. That would be Charles Kermis, W0CBK, and he is going to provide details on how search and rescue is becoming very popular as an extracurricular activity, even more so with all the recent catastrophes that we've had globally. And just a few of the topics that he'll be covering will be suburban search, first aid, weather watching, helicopter safety, tracking, search techniques, environmental observations, and so on, and relating it all to a classroom setting for young hams. So that should be really great, and hopefully inspire some more creative ideas if you're already working with a young group. And the networking opportunities will be, as always, really wonderful at the Instructors Forum.
And again, that's Friday, 10:30 to 11:30 in Forum Room 4, and you don't want to miss that. If you're looking at teaching any ham radio to, like she said, youth groups or in the classroom or even just the usual technician class or the general class, why, come on down and get some ideas and get inspired. Well, the big forum is the Youth Forum, and that's on Saturday. And tell us all about the Youth Forum and who should be there and how that's sponsored.
Well, okay, I will reduce my 3-hour response to that, which I could easily do, just to get everybody aware of exactly, if they're not already, what to expect from the Youth Forum. This will be the 31st, yes, 3-1, the 31st Youth Forum that I've moderated and had the privilege of doing for all these years, and it is just the jewel in the crown of all the venues that I do during the year with young hams. Who should attend the forum? My response to that is simple: everybody. If you are interested in particularly supporting the young people, our talented young hams who will be up there with fabulous presentations, that's a major reason to come. If you are interested in hearing some of the most interesting of topics, I always make sure everybody's got something different to present so that you're going to get a wide variety. I've got 8 speakers this year, including Mason, who we'll be hearing from soon, all with different presentations, and we encourage everybody to come for the support and really to get inspired and to feel real good. It's a feel-good forum. You can't leave there without a smile on your face. And part of the forum is we've got fabulous sponsors. I've got 13 major sponsors, and there will be prizes certainly for all the presenters, then specifically for the youngsters, 18 or below, and the 19 or below in the audience, and then for my special audience that I love so much, we have an ICOM IC7200 that is going to be part of the door prizes for adults. And we have a lot of things to announce about different venues that the children can be nominated for, and we will be announcing the Young Ham Lends a Hand Award. That's a contest that we run, as you know. And it's just going to be one of the forums. It is 3 hours in length, and it goes so fast, the last whole hour is devoted to the giving out of the prizes to the presenters. They get a special table full of things that have been donated to them for being presenters. And then for the audience, separate drawing for the youngsters and for the adults. So it really goes quickly. You have to be present to win. And we just want everybody to show up, and so you can see the best and the brightest that ham radio has to offer.
And they really are. And again, that's Saturday, 9:15 a.m. till noon in Forum Room 2. And you mentioned the Young Ham Lends a Hand Award. I had a student that was fortunate to win that last time around, so we look forward to hearing about that at the forum as well. And go ahead and give us the lineup of your young speakers that will be presenting this year and what they'll be talking about.
Okay, well, we've got Matthew Spiker. I'm going to skip the reading of the call signs at this point, but they range in age from 11, which would be Sue J., who's going to be speaking about school, scouts, and service. Age 11 up to 17 this year we've got. Matthew Spiker will be speaking about building an inexpensive APRS tracking device with a Raspberry Pi. Seamus Bonte will be speaking about mesh networking for emergency communications. Mason, who you'll be hearing from soon, is going to be speaking about his DXpedition to Iceland. Bryant Raskol will be speaking about the 2017 Dave Coulter Memorial DX Adventure to Costa Rica, and you'll be hearing more about how to participate in that. That's a fabulous adventure for youngsters who come for free if they're chosen on that adventure. You'll be hearing more about that at the Youth Forum. I have Violetta Latham, who will be speaking about how I do ham radio without internet. And then I have 12-year-old Thomas Cholikov, who in fact was one of my Youth Forum speakers at Hamcation in Orlando in February, who did a wonderful presentation and will again on electronics projects for young hams. Good ideas. If you're in the audience, he's got some really interesting projects. And then I have Tucker Dunham, age 17, whose topic is working with solar-powered digipeaters. And that is this year's very impressive lineup.
That is a very impressive lineup. That would be a pretty impressive lineup if adults were doing it.
Exactly.
And you've got 11 through 17-year-olds doing it. So
Yes.
just proves that these young people have a lot of talent and a lot of know-how.
Oh, and it's such a privilege to showcase them. And Neil, what I love best about, well, there's so many things I love about it, but the ripple effect after they have given a presentation at Dayton is just amazing. It gives me the opportunity of plugging them into the different venues that I have going all year, such as showcasing them at the RCA Technical Symposium that takes place once a year. And the networking opportunities for these young people is just phenomenal. And as you saw in that video last year, Where Are They Now? They really go back and attribute, as adults, go back to the support and the encouragement that they got by being presenters at the Dayton Youth Forum. It led to career choices. It led to technical school choices. So it's kind of that you become part of something that's bigger than any one of us, and it's just such a privilege to be part of it.
Yeah, it's an amazing group of young people, and we want to talk to one of those young people here tonight. So we're going to throw things over to Mason here. Mason Matrazzo, KM4SII, is here, and I had the pleasure of interviewing him for Amateur Radio Newsline last year about a DXpedition he took. And so he's going to talk about that at the Youth Forum. So we don't want to give away too much here because we want you to come to the Youth Forum and hear about it. And typically that's streamed online. I don't have all the details on that just yet, but typically there's a stream available for that. So hopefully that'll happen again this year. Carole, do you happen to know about that yet? Usually we talk about that, don't we?
Yes, there are plans underway with the people from DARA themselves to get something done with that.
Okay. All right. So probably we'll have that available. You can check out hamvention.org and find that. But we're going to let Mason give us a little bit of a preview. And Carole, you're the Youth Forum host, so I'm going to hand it over to you and let you talk to Mason.
Oh, okay. All right, Mason, let's consider this a dress rehearsal. As I was telling Mason before, and it's certainly my pleasure to say it again so that everybody knows it's certainly how I feel and how all the youngsters who participate in this forum feel. They never have a reason to be nervous in front of the audience at the Youth Forum because for years I have dubbed them the love audience. And when you're up at that podium, the kids will tell you and I will tell you, you can feel the support and all the good wishes and the warmth that come out of that audience. It's the most special audience that I encounter all year. So that being said, Mason, you will now be totally relaxed. And why don't you tell us about the very exciting adventure you had when you were on a DXpedition to Iceland?
All right, yes, of course. Don't want to give away too much, of course, since that's, like we mentioned earlier, that's what you're coming to the presentation for. But yes, I went to visit the lovely country of Iceland, which has just recently kind of exploded with tourism. Before it was kind of, a little island off in the middle of up in the Arctic that nobody really knew much about. But it's becoming a very popular tourist destination right now. And if anybody's ever considering it, I would definitely say go to Iceland. It's a great place. But yes, my grandmother went with a tour group from her church to Iceland, and she invited myself and my mom to come along. And I got to thinking, I'm a ham radio operator that's totally obsessed with DXing and contesting and all that kind of stuff. So what better opportunity to play radio than from another country? And Iceland's not really that common of a country. It's nothing as rare as stuff like, North Korea or some of the little islands in the middle of nowhere. But it's not super common either. There are some operators there, but it's just one of the smaller places that aren't on the air as much. So I figured, I might as well see what the licensing was and see if I could would be able to operate from there. And most countries, you actually have to be an extra to operate from. And I'm still a general, so that's the plan for the summers, to become an extra. We'll see how that works out when school wraps up. But turns out Iceland is one of the couple of European countries that lets general operators operate from there. So I decided, all right, well, I got to get some radio equipment and head to Iceland and see what could be done there. And as you'll see in the presentation, like I said, don't want to say too much about it right now, but it was definitely an interesting experience. There was innumerable challenges that were presented by Mother Nature and the electrical system at the hotel. So you can hear all about that at the Youth Forum next month here at Hamvention.
Oh, well, that's excellent, Mason, and I can tell how excited you still are to speak about all of that and share all of that. So we will certainly be looking forward to your presentation along with the others, and I've already seen the gist of what you're going to be sharing with us, and to say the least, it's going to be very inspiring to many of the young people in the audience, as well as informative to the rest of us. So I am thanking you in advance, and I look forward to meeting with you in person next month.
Oh, yes, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I got the opportunity to do the presentation in front of our local amateur radio club here in Forsyth County, North Carolina, and it went really well. So I need to whittle it down so it meets the time requirements, but I'm definitely very excited about giving the presentation.
Now,
Well, that's
Mason...
excellent.
Yep. Sorry. Now, Mason, you had this opportunity to do this DXpedition, and now you've got an opportunity to do another one. So tell us about that.
Yes. The QSO number was relatively low from Iceland due to a number of challenges that you can hear all about that stuff in Hamvention, like I said. But this one's bound to be much more successful. I got selected to be part of the Youth DX Adventure, which is a fantastic organization that takes youth operators, a team of youth operators, to operate from some of the world's best stations down in the Caribbean and Central America. They went to Costa Rica last year, and this year they're going down to a station that probably some of the people that are listening, if you've done any kind of HF activity, you've probably worked this station. It's the probably, I would say, the biggest station in the Caribbean and probably one of the biggest in the world. It's Papa Japan 2 Tango on Curacao Island. And it's a very big contest station, and I got the opportunity to go down there along with two other operators. And we will be down there in the middle of July, playing around on all of the HF bands. And they have some gigantic antennas down there. So if you're in the U.S. or in Europe or pretty much anywhere in the world, you will most certainly be able to hear us. So I'm looking forward to getting a lot of people in the logbook from down there. It's going to be a fantastic experience, thanks to the Youth DX Adventure.
Yeah, the guys that went last year learned a lot and had an absolute blast in Costa Rica and have become pretty close friends. But one of the unexpected things that Christopher learned, and I always have to bring this up, is Christopher learned how to make grilled cheese.
Oh, yes, I heard about that one.
He's had this famous grilled cheese sandwich. So Chris Bro, we got you in here again. But so
we should take him for a cook this year.
Yeah. So do you have any plans on any recipes for carousel?
I really don't have that very good in the culinary department. I don't have very good skills in that department, so not sure if what I make would be edible, but it's worth a shot.
Well, maybe you can talk to Chris before you go, and he can.
Yes, he can give me some advice.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more to Carole and to Mason and give you a chance to call in, tweet in, whatever you want to do, and jump in here into the conversation. So we'll be back with Carole and Mason right after this word from the National Voice of America, Museum of Broadcasting, and Amateur Radio Newsline right here on Ham Talk Live.
The National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting, located in Westchester, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati, is only 2 minutes off I-75. The museum is the former home of the Voice of America Bethany Relay Station. Tours are now available every Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can see the control room, a 200,000-watt transmitter, and the most comprehensive collection of inventions by the iconic Powell Crosley Jr. Also on display is a huge antique radio exhibit and R.L. Drake's personal collection of most every Drake amateur rig ever made. This is a unique opportunity to see amateur radio in action and have a chance to get on the air from WC8 VOA. Admission is only $5 a person. The museum is located close to historic WLW-AM and tons of shopping and restaurants. Take a trip to the VOA Museum or visit us online at voamuseum.org.
Nominations are now open for the Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak WA6ITF Young Ham of the Year Award. I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. Since 1986, we've had the honor of celebrating the accomplishments of youth in ham radio, and we want to know about your exceptional young ham. You'll find the rules and a nominating form by clicking the YHOTY tab on arnewsline.org. Fill it out, send it in, and we'll see you and an amazing young ham at the Huntsville, Alabama Ham Fest in August. Thanks, and 73 from Amateur Radio Newsline.
Join the conversation. Call us on voice with Skype at Ham Talk Live or give us a call at 812-NET-HAM1. That's 812-638-4261. Now, here's more Ham Talk Live. Running barefoot is for the beach. We're cranking 1.5 trillion nanowatts right here on Ham Talk Live.
Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting has announced their special Hamvention hours. Thursday, May 17th from 1 to 4 p.m., Friday evening, May 18th from 5 to 9, Saturday, May 19th from 1 to 9, and Sunday, May 20th from 1 to 4. So be sure to check them out at voamuseum.org. Ham Talk Live is on the air every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here at hamtalklive.com. And be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And it's time for your calls now. So now is the time. If you have a question for Carole or Mason or a comment, you can give us a call. That phone number again, 812-NET-HAM1, 812-638-4261, or you can Skype us at Ham Talk Live, or you can tweet us at Ham Talk Live. And I do see one tweet that's come in from none other than Sterling Coffee in 0SSC. He says he can't wait. He's been to the forum almost every year since 2010, spoke at one, and still has and uses the THF-6A handheld that he got from it, and can't tell you how much joy it gives me to see the overwhelmingly positive impact the forum has on the young presenters and the audience. So there's another ad from Sterling to go to this thing. And Carole, while we were on the break there, you mentioned the Young Ham Lends a Hand Award. Why don't you elaborate a little more on that and some of the nominations this year?
Oh, please, yes. Anybody listening, you can informally nominate a youngster who meets the criteria. The Young Ham Lends a Hand contest was begun 6 years ago with a friend, Evan Rolek, K9SQG. He and I began this contest wanting to honor and showcase any licensed young ham, again 18 or younger, who exemplifies amateur radio's basic tenet of service. And we ask hams to recommend and nominate a youngster, any young ham who participates in volunteerism for community events, helping with senior citizens. That could be military personnel. It could be school events, recruitment, and or training of other youngsters, or any other valid give-back project. And that person would be eligible for consideration for this award. The winner gets announced at the Hamvention Youth Forum and receives a $100 stipend check, along with all of our admiration. And Neil, as I was telling you before, this year, Evan and I have received more nominations, and a nomination is simply writing me in your own words why you believe this particular youngster would be a worthy candidate for this award. We've received more than in all the years before, and the caliber is just something that puts a smile right on your ham heart, because it's such a pleasure to support and showcase these youngsters who are giving back to the communities in some of the ways that I just described. So by all means, if you run across such a youngster, let me know. Just email me directly. My call letters, WB2 MGP, Mighty Good Professor, @gmail.com, and tell me why you believe that youngster deserves this award.
All right. Very good, and a very deserving award for a young person. So get those nominations in. And if you have a question about anything we've talked about tonight or a comment, please give us a call at 812-638-4261, 812-NET-HAM1, or tweet us, or you can, if you're on Spreaker, you can put a comment in there, and we'll get that in the chat here. So please do that if you'd like to chime in. Now, the Hamvention moved last year and had new facilities, and I know that there's some changes coming to that. Carole, what do you know about some changes to the facility this time?
Well, first of all, kudos to all the fabulous people at DARA who just pulled off an event last year that deserves nothing but praise and admiration. They are just terrific, and the fact that that venue was so fabulous, it was just awesome last year. I had the biggest forum room that I've ever had. As you know, if you have followed me through the past 30 years, I went from a really teeny tiny room to one of the largest rooms at Hamvention last year, that big room 2, where we had air conditioning. And yes, there was a little snafu, the noise of the air conditioning. We had to shut it at some points so that we could better hear the young speakers. But we overcame that, and I've been assured that that problem has been taken care of as well. It's just, it's remarkable, I think, what they have managed to do, and clearly they work so hard all during the year to make sure that it turns out to be so fabulous at the end.
Yeah, and looking forward to that, and it really was nice to have some room, because usually there's not much room, and it was so nice to be able to accommodate so many people last year. So that was great. Well, tell us a little bit about some of the prizes. You mentioned the ICOM rig. You mentioned some of the prizes that people will be getting and the youngsters.
Yeah, well, all of my young presenters will be getting an HT radio from ICOM, certainly one of our biggest supporters. For the past 27 years, Neil, ICOM has been supporting my youth forums. Each of my youngsters will get a personalized jacket from them with their name and call sign, and they also receive a backpack from ICOM that's personalized, along with a patch that I created, the RCA Young Achiever patch, that gets on the backpack as well. And AMSAT has donated books that we're going to stuff in the book bags for them. And, of course, I did tell you about the big prize, the IC 7200 for the adults. RCA, of course, Radio Club of America, that literally sponsors my being there, is going to be giving a $100 stipend check to each of my young presenters, and that is being donated and has been for the past 5 years by, again, Charles Kermis, who is going to be speaking at the Instructors Forum. He has been just so impressed by the caliber of the youngsters at that youth forum that he picks up the $100 stipend checks for each of the kids through RCA so that it doesn't have to come directly out of my budget. And RCA also donates my Carole's monitors, people. The gentleman with the yellow ribbon necklaces with the bronze medallion at the end that says Carole's monitors on it. These are the guys without whom I would have a really hard time doing that 3-hour forum. They take care of everything that needs to be done there. As well as helping giving out the prizes. Kenwood is donating radios. MFJ is giving matching mobile antennas for the ICOM radios and chest harness pouches. Heil Sound is donating a new product, a BM17 earphone. And then we have, in addition, Lance Cruz is the radio club that almost since the beginning, for the past 28 years, that's the group that prints up those beautiful prize tickets for us for the youth forum. The adults get one color and the youngsters get another. They take care of all those beautifully done prize tickets, and they donate prizes, door prizes for the kids. And they've been tremendous supporters of ours. QCWA, of which I am the chairperson of their youth activities as well, donates money to support the Young Ham Lends a Hand contest. ARRL is going to be donating $50 gift certificates. DX Engineering, my good friend and president of RCA, Tim Duffy, has, through DX Engineering, donated 10 $100 gift certificates to be given out. The Delaware Lehigh Valley Amateur Radio Club is donating money for the Young Ham Lends a Hand contest. And Amateur Call Sign, which is founded by a friend of mine, Pete Veronis, who is an excellent historian, is also a sponsor of the Youth Forum. And as I mentioned, AMSAT is donating those getting started books for each presenter to have in a book bag. So once again, we're going to have an hour's worth of giving out prizes.
And when they learn about all the stuff from AMSAT, they can go do Walmart parking lots on the air.
There you go.
Oh my! This is just so much fun. It just fits right in. So, all right. Well, we're going to finish things up here, but one last word with Mason here. Are you ready to go, or are you just like, okay, is it here yet? Is it here yet?
Oh, yes, I'm getting very excited for it. Not too much longer now.
Now, I will tell you from past experience that you might want to bring a wheelbarrow to take all that stuff home, because it's
I
a
started
job.
last year.
I'm telling you, it's a job to get all that stuff out of there. It's amazing.
Yeah, the car's going to be weighed down on the way home. Going to be dragging the ground.
Oh my goodness. Well, best of luck. Look forward to seeing you there, Mason, and talk to you. And thanks for coming on the show tonight. And get ready for the love audience.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you guys then.
All right, Mason. We'll see you. And Carole, thanks as always.
You are most welcome. Always a pleasure speaking with you.
Always glad to have you on, and appreciate all that you do to showcase these young hams. So get to the Youth Forum and the Instructors Forum. Again, the Instructors Forum is Friday of Hamvention from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. in room 4, and the Youth Forum Saturday morning at opening at 9:15 until noon in Forum room 2. So don't miss those. And thanks again to Carole and Mason for coming on the show. But that is a wrap for this week's edition of Ham Talk Live. Thanks to everybody out there in cyberspace for tweeting in and listening. And next Thursday night at 9 p.m., our Hamvention Preview continues with Bob Nauman, W5OV, the sales manager at DX Engineering. He'll be here to talk about shopping at Hamvention, your best bets for your shopping experience. And for a list of all of our upcoming guests, visit hamtalklive.com. And of course, I can't leave without reminding you about Wimplota this weekend. You can find all the information at wmplota.org, and hope to hear you on the air. And if you like Ham Talk Live, please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen, and talk us up on the air as well. It'll help people find us a little faster. So this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375, and may the good DX be yours.